The thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Wow, West Coast has it by 6.
It's the all-new Let's Go Racing from Parks Casino and Racetrack. It's action-packed and fun for the entire family.
3 of them are right together with 1 furlong to go.
Let's Go Racing is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
A very pleasant good morning, racing fans, and welcome here to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. It's our Kentucky Derby recap show, but it's also our Kentucky Oaks recap show. We'll have Nyquist at the Kentucky Derby and CATHRYN Sophia coming up at the Kentucky Oaks. We'll also talk to John Service. We have local stakes, and somehow we'll do that all in the next 30 minutes. Hi, everybody. Keith Jones. We're down on the beautiful first floor here at Parks Racing. My good friend Dick Girardi back from Kentucky. How was your trip, big man?
No, it was great. Bruce and I hung out, obviously, with John Service and CATHRYN Sophia, and hung out a little with Doug O'Neill and Nyquist. I mean, they were the 2 stories I was down there to cover. Turned out both of them did rather well.
We're actually going to bump the Kentucky Derby to our second segment.
Yeah, we have to for this week. We definitely have to because the local man, he did it again.
Well, we're going to start with the Kentucky Oaks. That was from last Friday. 3-year-old fillies at 1 1/8 for a purse of $1 million. Dick, big field of 14, a full gate of 14. Number 11, Rachel's Valentina, 5-2 for trainer Todd Pletcher. And Rachel's Valentina, not pretty lightly raced, but she's pretty good filly.
Yeah, she ran in the Ashland, was a neck ahead of CATHRYN Sophia. And these are the kind of horses, Keith, I have made a career out of betting against because they were betting her like she was her mother, Rachel Alexandra. She's a nice filly, but this was the time to step in and bet against the favorite.
Dick, second choice, number 12, CATHRYN Sophia. She ends off going at a price of 9-2. Dick, she was 7-1 for a long time. And all of a sudden, she's 9-2.
I thought she was 7-1 when they ran the race. The money came in really late. I bet early, and that's what I thought. Look, the best situation in racing is when a horse runs a little less than her best, but you know why, and her best is going to win. Well, John Service has explained to us a couple weeks ago why she didn't run her best in the Ashland. She was primed and ready to roll. This is the greatest betting situation in horse racing, and when you have it, you got to step out.
When she has her burst, she just can blow the race open so quickly. Here's a look at the Kentucky Oaks.
They're off in the Kentucky Oaks. CATHRYN Sophia fires out fast, and Rachel's Valentina goes with her early. Terra Promessa is on the inside and showing speed. So the Stone Street horses are 1-2. Terra Promessa in front. Rachel's Valentina sits behind her. Lewis Bay is running in third. CATHRYN Sophia taken back to sit fourth early on. Then Paula Queen on the far outside. And they're followed by Mocat, Go Maggie Go, and Mo D'Amour right behind them. Then Dream Dance on the inside of Landover Sea. Taxable is 3 wide around that first turn. Weep No More is next, and then Royal Obsession and Venus Valentine. And the opening quarter mile in 23 and 1/5 seconds. It's a very solid pace here, and Terra Promessa is setting it. Rachel's Valentina is a length and a half behind her, and Lewis Bay is ranked there third on the inside. CATHRYN Sophia and Javier Castellano fourth up the backstretch. 4 lengths from front-running Terra Promessa. And then it's Paula Queen on the outside. Mocat down toward the rail. A break of another 2 back to Go Maggie Go and Mo D'Amour. And then Royal Obsession and Dream Dance on the inside. Weep No More about 8 lengths off the lead as they make their way for the far turn. Landover Sea is next. It is Terra Promessa who went 47-4 for a half mile, heading around the far turn in front. Rachel's Valentina is a length behind her. CATHRYN Sophia makes her bid 3 wide, and Lewis Bay is still in contention, fourth, and waiting for running room on the inside. Looks like she's got it now. Irad Ortiz Jr. sends her on through, and there's 4 horses across the track as CATHRYN Sophia takes the lead on the outside. Lewis Bay is now second, and then it's Rachel's Valentina, Terra Promessa, and Landover Sea. CATHRYN Sophia has run away here. CATHRYN Sophia's got a 4-length lead as they come by the 16th pole. And CATHRYN Sophia will be very impressive. The winner of the Kentucky Oaks.
And the results from the 2016 Kentucky Oaks, a brilliant performance from CATHRYN Sophia, wins by 2 3/4 lengths and pays $11.40 to win. Landover Sea gets the nod for second over Lewis Bay. And as we come back on the set here at Let's Go Racing, we're now in the presence of greatness. It is my pleasure to welcome in the winning trader of the Kentucky Oaks this year, John Service. John, absolute greatness personified right here. Great to have you on the show. Congratulations from all of us. Had a couple of days to let it settle in. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I mean, you know, my owners, they put good horses in my barn, and I'm able to train good horses, and I'm a lucky guy.
John, it's just a brilliant performance by your filly. From the beginning, when did she first show you some signs that she was something special?
You know, it's funny because it took quite a while. You know, she was a little bit of a challenge to get there. She had a lot of little issues that babies will have, and you know, I've said all along, I mean, thank God Mr. Zachney was patient with me because I was patient with her, and it gave me the opportunity to do that. And it took us a while to get her to the point where we like to call it around the barn is getting over the hump. And once she got over the hump and she started settling in and really being able to train on a regular basis where we could work her regularly and stuff, you know, then we started to see some talent. But it was a few months.
John, from the second to last work at Keeneland, your confidence level went up dramatically. Explain to the viewers why.
Well, you know, I had made sure that she wasn't 100% going into the Ashland because the Oaks was the race that we'd put in for since the first of the year. And I said this at Keeneland, at Louisville, shame on me for thinking that she could beat a horse like Rachel Valentina and Weep No More at being 80%. But I ran her at 80% because I wanted to make sure she peaked for the Oaks. Off of the Ashland, when Songbird bailed and we were discussing, you know, the Oaks and possibly doing it, I talked to Mr. Zachney. I said, well, she's going to work, you know, on Friday, and we'll make a decision afterwards. And then the rain hit, and we ended up putting the work off till Saturday. But when I watched her work Saturday morning, and man, she settled so nice. And Javier couldn't work her because he had to fly out of town to go to Charlestown. So Paco did me a favor and breezed her. And he doesn't get excited about anybody. And he was raving about her, and she looked like she was, I mean, visibly to watch her, she looked like she was galloping, and she worked in 59-2 and galloped out in 12-2, and just, you know, and from that point on, just kept getting better.
John, you know the game and you know its history. I know we talked about it. To win the Derby 12 years ago with Smarty Jones, and now to win the Oaks, and to win them with your only two starters, what does that mean?
It's incredible. I mean, you know, to think to, you know, where I came from, you know, a little town in West Virginia, and you know, being around these kind of horses now, you know, to build up from, I mean, I tell people, I remember when I was a kid, the first horse I ever put in ice was ice boots, what they call ice boots now, and the guy that I worked for had them made out of corduroy pants. That we used the legs off of corduroy pants, and that's what we use for ice boots. So, to come to this point and then to be able to win two races like that, it's just, it's unbelievable.
You think you're fooling everybody, but really, I know that CATHRYN Sophia is really Smarty Jones dressed up to look like a girl. You know, it's
Well, if it wasn't for that blemish in the Ashland, I would say you're right on the money. But no, to go back to what you said, though, I had a couple of my buddies call me from Ben Salem, and they're like, "Man, Girardi's killed us." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, he was on the radio. He said he loved your filly. He goes, "There goes the odds."
John, what's next? I know you're thinking about it over the weekend.
I was originally going to go to Delaware, and because I couldn't get enough stalls at Monmouth, but I guess after the Oaks, they decided they were going to give me enough. So we're going to go to Monmouth.
Okay.
And it looks like we're probably going to point for the Acorn.
Okay.
Which was the original plan.
Yep.
And actually, the original plan was the Acorn, and then we're going to give her a little break.
Okay.
And you probably won't see her again till mid to late Saratoga, and use that as a prep race. And then the cotillion.
Wow. Well, you had our man Bruce Casella following you around with that Let's Go Racing camera, and here's a really great behind-the-scenes look at race day at the Kentucky Oaks.
Just blessed. That's all I can say. Just to be here after already experiencing it and getting a second chance, it's unbelievable.
And you're here doing this with your dad, too.
Yeah, that makes it all sweeter.
How's it feel to be back here?
It's great. It's great to be on center stage. John's very happy with the horse, and we're pretty optimistic tomorrow. So.
What makes her go? What's her engine?
Well, we just got a great hip on her. Good shoulder and neck. But her attitude is probably the biggest thing. I mean, she's just so competitive. She just wants to win every time.
It's a pleasure dealing with horses like these. You don't get opportunities like these many times.
What's she like to be around?
She, a lot of fun. You have to pay attention. She makes you pay attention.
After Smarty, I said it's probably once in a lifetime to be able to come back here and have a shot at the Philly side of it. It's terrific.
Perfect setup.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Perfect setup. It's going to happen. We're going to win.
All in line, ready for the start. They're off in the Kentucky Oaks. CATHRYN Sophia fires out fast. CATHRYN Sophia and Javier Castellano fourth up the backstretch. 4 lengths from front-running Terra Promesa. CATHRYN Sophia makes her bid 3 wide, and Lewis Bay is still in contention, 4th, and waiting for running room on the inside. Looks like she's got it now.
She ran a great race. John had her prepared, and Javier gave a great ride, and the results were there. I think we won by about 3 lengths, so we were thrilled to death. Prior to coming up with the name for the horse, I always talked to the trainer and I asked John, what do you think? And he goes, yeah, she's got some talent. I said, good, because I want to name her after my niece. She's a little spitfire, a soccer player, and so she certainly demonstrated that today.
It's a thrill. It's a privilege, too, to be here, to be named after the horse that just won. It's an amazing feeling.
Are you a fan of horse racing? Are you much more of a fan of horse racing today than you were yesterday? Kind of where are you at this point in terms of your regard for the sport?
Yeah, I am now.
Ton of fun. I have a lot of horse and just to try to wait a little longer. But ton of fun, I forgot everything. I said, forget about it. I want to open, I want to win the race. I rode with a lot of patience all the way to the 3-8, but I said, forget.
First, we need to toast this terrific horse, CATHRYN Sophia. But I also want to toast John Service for doing a great job with this filly. He took his time, he was very patient, and the results showed today. So cheers to go.
Cheers to CATHRYN.
Yes! And a very special thank you to John Service and all of Team Cash's King, and we'll be right back after this. Another pretty big race to look at. I think it's the Kentucky Derby. See you in a minute.
And they're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. And this segment is brought to you by Chapman Auto Group. Unless our emblem is on the back of your car or truck, you probably paid too much. Our second segment, Dick, the Kentucky Derby gets booked to our second segment.
Was that run over the weekend? Did I miss that?
Pretty amazing. Dick, a full gate of 20 gets to the gate, and let's talk about it, the favorite first, Nyquist. Dick, there were talks about Nyquist. Could he get the distance? He'd only had one race going around 2 turns.
Right.
I know he's undefeated, all the earnings and stuff. But when the betting showed up, you know, when I saw the first flash and he's 2-1, I thought, wow, that's a short price.
Well, the public had the respect for him that maybe others did not.
Right.
And certainly the horse earned it, Keith, 7 for 7. I mean, really, I said to somebody during the week, this was the 4th race at Parks. Nobody would have even analyzed this race. It was just so obvious he deserved to be the favorite. I never buy into this, can he get the distance nonsense, because frankly, you don't know about any of them. So you just handicap the race. Who is the best horse? Who's the most accomplished horse? I said it last week. He hasn't run particularly big numbers yet, but for sheer accomplishments, you have to go back to the 70s to find a Derby favorite with the accomplishments of Nyquist. I mean, it's actually awesome. And back in the 70s, they didn't even have the Breeders' Cup. So deserved favorite, terrific horse, was always going to get a great trip. It was really, to me, last week, beyond obviously spending time with John, which Bruce and I spent a lot of time with John, it was all about Nyquist.
Dick Exaggerator, second choice here at 5-1. He does have a big burst from way back, but really he needs to time his move well.
He does, and his problem is he's really good in races where there's no Nyquist. The problem is he's run against Nyquist 3 times before, and nobody's been able to beat Nyquist, including Exaggerator.
Surprised that the third choice ended up being Gunrunner. Gunrunner at 10-1 was the third choice.
Yeah, I was. I didn't really see that coming. I mean, he's a nice horse. He's solid. He certainly won some significant races down in Louisiana. But hey, as it turned out, the public had a pretty good feel for this race, Keith.
Want to watch the Derby again?
Yeah, let's watch
Here's
the Derby.
Kentucky Derby 142.
And they're off in the Kentucky Derby. And it was a great start for Gunrunner toward the inside. Nyquist breaks alertly as well. Shagaf is up close, outwork. And from that far outside post, Dancing Candy showing plenty of speed as the Kentucky Derby field races for the clubhouse turn. And Dancing Candy on the far outside up to set the pace. Nyquist is running in second. Gunrunner is third. Outwork is away in fourth. Shagaf is on the outside fifth. Tom's Ready in between horses racing in sixth. Whitmore saving ground while seventh. More Spirit 4 wide into the first turn in eighth. Oscar nominated toward the inside is ninth. Destin is running along in 10th. Then it's Mahesto pushed along in 11th. Mohayman is off the pace today, way back in 12th. Brody's Cause is 13th by 3. Then it's My Man Sam in 14th by another 5. Exaggerator's back in 15th. Lonnie is 16th. Mo Tom. And at the back is Creator. Another 5 from there to Sudden Breaking News. And Trojan Nation is 20 lengths off the pace. And what a pace it is, 45-3. Dancing Candy down the backstretch in the Kentucky Derby leading by 2. Gunrunner stalking the pace, second and outside. Nyquist is in the clear for the run to the far turn, racing in third. Outwork is farther out than that, fourth. And then toward the inside, Whitmore is fifth, and down inside, Tom's Ready is sixth. Destin is 7th. Mohayman has started to make some progress out of 8th. Oscar nominated is 9th. My Man Sam is 10th. More Spirit is 11th. Exaggerator's trying to pick through the pack. Had to check off heels there. Tries to find a seam toward the inside. There's a quarter mile to go in the Kentucky Derby. They turn for home. And here's Nyquist. Champion Nyquist comes off the turn and takes the lead away from Gunrunner. It's these two clear by 5. Mohayman's closing on the outside. And Exaggerator's flying down the center of the track by the Twin Spires in the Kentucky Derby. It's Nyquist clear by 3. Gunrunner's running in second. Exaggerator continues to close. Time is running out. Nyquist is 100 yards from home. Exaggerator with one final try in the Derby. Nyquist holds on.
Well, another brilliant performance by Nyquist. Looks like he's just getting better, Dick. 2-1 goes and pays $6.60 to win. Exaggerator comes from 15th with a big late run to get up for second, and Gunrunner barely hangs on and finishes third. Dick, the public, 1, 2, 3, and exactly the fourth horse, Mohayman, was also fourth in the betting.
Yeah, exactly. I've never seen it happen that way at the Derby. You don't see it happen very many times in a race on a normal day here at the track. So, yeah, it was kind of amazing. And for the people that thought Exaggerator was going to pass Nyquist with a little more time, I will just say, no way. If you kept watching past the wire, actually Nyquist got further away from Exaggerator. Wow. He wasn't getting tired. Mario Gutierrez, who again rode a brilliant race. Keith, it does help when the horse has that great speed to put him in position. But even in the far turn, it was obvious that the front runner was going nowhere, Dancing Candy. But when Florence Giroux sent Gun Runner up inside, if you watch Gutierrez, he didn't even worry about it. He just casually moved up, and then he just took off at the top of the stretch. The race was over. Reminded me of California Chrome 2 years ago. It was just over that fast. This is some horse. Almost $5 million. Only other horse to two-year-old champ to win the Derby unbeaten, Seattle Slew.
Wow.
That is some serious company that this horse is
You
in.
better believe it. Here's more coverage of the Kentucky Derby.
He's just a remarkable athlete that if you work him by himself, he'll even switch his tail a little bit. Like, what do you want? What do you want from me? And you put him in company, and he's just a Ferrari. So, but this guy right here, how does he handle that pressure? We're all like so nervous. We were all saying, thank God we're not riding him. We would have fell off him before we got in the gate. But the way Mario, he's got ice in his veins, and he's the guy you want at the free throw line at the end of the game.
Well, Dick, a little bit later on the show, we get to news and notes. We'll talk some about the Preakness, but boy, I think they're going to have a hard time beating Nyquist, I'll tell you that.
I don't see it happening.
Well, Dick, let's bring it back home on Derby Day. We have those two new stakes from last year, and we're going to take a look at the Parks Oaks. That's 3-year-old fillies of Island 70 for a purse of $100,000. A really nice-looking filly goes off as the favorite, number 3, 8th Wonder. She's 3-5 for trainer D. Curry. She had a terrific 2-year-old season. She was 3 for 3 and won by daylight every single time.
1 by 7, 1 by 5, 1 by 9, and yeah, she's spectacular. Dee was dying to get her in a sprint race. It never could quite happen, so she had to start her out in a route race. I know she didn't want to do it, but boy, it's a talented
Has been off since November and now has to go a route race. First time coming back. Second choice, number 1, Miss Inclusive, goes off at 3-1 for this trainer John Service, it says here, coming off a victory last time out at 7/8.
Trying to do the Oaks double within 20 hours.
You think, which Oaks do you think is? Yeah, I think I know. Dick, let's take a look at the Parks Oaks. 8th Wonder, uncontested so far. With 3 furlongs to go, she's in front by just over 2, but Miss Inclusive is beginning to close that gap a bit. Miss Inclusive is edging closer on the outside. On the inside, Little Cyclone is making her run now. Little Cyclone has moved to 3rd, but she's better than 5 back as they approach the top of the stretch. And then it's Spitfire Wind in Sydney time. 8th Wonder turns for home, and Miss Inclusive now takes aim on the outside. 1 furlong to go. 8th Wonder a length and a half, but Miss Inclusive is closing in. Little Cyclone rallies late down at the inside. 8th Wonder desperate. Miss Inclusive late surge. 16th to go, their heads apart. 8th Wonder, Miss Inclusive on the outside. Miss Inclusive gets the lead late. Well, 8th Wonder setting the pace, but Dick, as they came to that final furlong, you could see in the distance, and the layoff was starting to get to her a little bit. Here comes Miss Inclusive grinding away on the outside, and Miss Inclusive does get by late to win at 3-1, $8 to win. 8th Wonder was second. Number 7, Little Cyclone for Eddie Coletti was third. John Service pulls the Oaks double. Miss Inclusive takes the Parks Oaks.
Yeah, some weekend for the Service stable, and it's been an unbelievable run here at the track this meet. Keith, at 50%. You know, it's funny, after the race, Bruce and I were talking about it a little bit after the Oaks on Friday, and I looked up John's career record. He's over 1,500 wins now, and we said it before, the only trainer to win the Derby and the Oaks with his only starters. He had the great Jostle who won the Alabama, so he's one of the best 2-year-old, 3-year-old filly races out there. Derby and the Preakness was smart. He should have won the Triple Crown. We don't have to rehash that, but we all know what happened there. With a PA bred by a $10,000 sire. This is a filly that cost $30,000 at Timonium. We don't say this just because he's a friend of the show and he's a friend of ours, but I think we got to start looking pretty seriously at John Service in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm talking not just the Parks Hall of Fame, I'm talking about the Hall of Fame. This is some resume he is putting together.
I was thinking about exactly that over the weekend. I mean, he really is starting to put
no question.
And he's still got a long way to go.
That's the whole point. He's not finished yet.
Well, let's get to our next break. We come back here on Let's Go Racing Awards to give out. Got some great horses to look at and race recap. We'll be right back after this.
Did you know absolutely no taxpayer dollars support the Pennsylvania horse racing industry? In fact, racing generates $1.6 billion that pays taxes, creates jobs, and more, right here in Pennsylvania.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. Got to give out the weekly awards brought to you by Wanamaker Ticket Agency, wanatix.com. Log on, get your tickets today. Concerts, sports shows, great seats, great prices, great tickets at wanatix.com. Jockey of the Week, we got to give him a nod. We haven't talked about him, but Frankie Pennington continues to ride great. He's at the top of the jockey standings. And Isn't there somebody that should be our trainer of the week? It's
JC
something.
Service.
Oh,
yeah.
John, that's it. Our man,
I think John by acclamation this week.
John Service is our trainer of the year to this point. Let's get to race recap. How about the Parks Derby, Dick? This is the boys at 1 mile and 70 yards for 100,000. Number 2, Abiding Star, 3 to 5 for Ned Allard. Dick, 0 for 6 as a 2-year-old, and now he is 5 for 5 as a 3-year-old.
Yeah, he's having some run here. Starting on January 1st, Ned got him cranked up and loose in the lead here, and they're not going to catch him. 91 buyer speed figure, the best of his career as he continues to get better.
Ned's got some nice horses. Another one named Always Sunshine.
But you notice the sire?
Uncle Mo.
Same as Nyquist.
320 on Abiding Star. The My Juliet, 6 furlongs for the fillies and mares here at Parks. 4-inch heels, 2-1 for that man, John Service. Dick, Disco Chick has the lead, 5-2. Is she going to hold on?
Yeah, she is going to hold on. Mario Saray is going to get it done. Disco Chick winning her 7th lifetime.
$7.60 to win. Dick, let's get to Ion Racing. How about the Peter Pan up at Belmont?
How about the Peter Pan? Nice 3-year-old race. Prep for the Belmont.
Absolutely.
It's exactly what it is. That's a big deal, so keep an eye. You never know what you'll see there.
And big turf race later today. It's the Man of War Grade 1 up at Belmont. 4 graded stakes up there. Let's get to our last break. We're going to wrap it up. A little Preakness talk. We come back on News and Notes.
Looking to join the thrill and excitement of thoroughbred racehorse ownership? Pewter Stable can get you started. With more than 25 years of experience under the leadership of Greg and Kate DeMasi, Pewter Stable is one of the industry's leaders in racing partnerships, winning hundreds of races and millions of dollars at racetracks all over the Mid-Atlantic, including New York. Pewter Stable is working hard, looking for the very best runners at all the top sales, and we do claiming partnerships as well. No markup, no management fees, makes our partnerships unique and affordable. Training services also provided for individual owners. Give us a call and see what Pewter Stable is all about. The thrill and fun of thoroughbred racehorse ownership is easier than you think. We are Pewter Stable. The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parks Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parks is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. Final segment is News and Notes, brought to you by Pewter Stable. Log on to the website from Kate DeMasi, pewterstable.com. Become an owner today. Bruce Casella, Dick Girardi, Keith Jones. Dick, the Preakness next weekend. How many?
10, 12 maybe.
Okay.
Very few of the Derby horses are coming back. Exaggerator is coming back. There's some discussion of Lanny, that crazy Japanese horse. I'm not sure why, but look, the really good horses that win the Derby almost always win the Preakness, and this is a really, really good horse in Nyquist.
Can't wait.
We'll be there.
Preakness, you got it. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next week right here on Let's Go Racing.
City of Louisville, Commonwealth of Kentucky, sports racing fans from around the world, we've waited for this moment. Riders up.
And they're off in the Grade 1 Cotillion Stakes. Questing digs in by Miss Aurelia on the outside. A dramatic stretch run of the Cotillion. They're headed in for the lead as they come to the wire. It's by Miss Aurelia.